What's up, guys? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com and welcome back to more of our Breeders' Cup coverage. Well, let's waste no time. No introduction for this one. I'm going to go right to it, right to the data we're going to talk about in this video, because I think this is one of the most important decisions you're going to make at the Breeders' Cup this year. So, City of Troy is who we're going to cover here. Obviously, a great talking point, one of the best talking points of this Breeders' Cup. He will most likely be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He will be trying dirt for the first time. And so what this video is all about really is, can City of Troy handle the dirt? Should you support him as a favorite, or should that be a favorite that you fade at the Breeders' Cup? We'll have a lot of coverage on this throughout the next couple of weeks leading up to the race. This is just one video. So let's kind of look at City of Troy. I'm going to break it down into kind of four categories. We're going to go, with his, overall talent level. We'll look at the resume a little bit. Pedigree, we'll talk about it a little bit. The trainer, Aidan O'Brien, obviously a big part of this. And then kind of running style and how that will play on the dirt. So, resume, we don't need to go into it too much. You, at this time, if you're watching this video, you kind of know what he's done, right? 3 straight wins as a 2-year-old, ending in a Group 1 victory there at Newmarket. Came back this year, was very disappointing in the Guineas at Newmarket. And, that day finished 9th, just didn't run a step, and then came back with 3 more Group 1 wins in a row leading up to this one as a 3-year-old. Look, I will be honest, as a 2-year-old, he looked awesome. As a 3-year-old, I would not really say that he was bad. I don't care about when a horse finishes 9th and has won the other 6 races. It's very clear just he wasn't comfortable. Something happened that day. It wasn't because there were 8 other horses that were better than him, right? So that's a total toss. I don't care about that. I thought he's Betfred Derby in his Coral Eclipse, and there were Group 1 wins. There's never a bad Group 1 win. I want to be honest with you, or I'm going to be clear about that. They weren't like incredibly like visually, right? Good races, solid is how you would describe him. But he didn't quite, at least for me, live up to like the hype that Aidan O'Brien had given this horse. And so that's why I didn't come away disappointed, but it was kind of like, hey, he's really good. I don't think he's just like a sensational horse. The Juddmonte International Stakes, really, and I've harped on this a lot on some of our other shows. The Juddmonte International, it really kind of showed me he might be who Aidan O'Brien told us he was. That was really impressive. If you go back and watch that race, it's the first time as a 3-year-old where I really saw him take control and just kind of toy with horses a bit. He went right to the front. He took control of the race. When a horse started to kind of get close to him, he'd just kind of gradually ease away from him. Another one get close, he just kind of gradually ease away. He was in complete control. Don't look at the margin of victory so much. Just go back and watch it, and you could see this horse ran a beast-like race. And that's the first time this season I thought, okay, yeah, no, that was really, really special. And again, I want to be clear. His other 2 wins this year were very good, but that was a special performance last time out. That's the kind of race that you want to see from a horse trying to go to the dirt, go to the Breeders' Cup Classic for the first time. And so really impressive, really, really, really impressive. So obviously, I just wanted to highlight, hey, this is what he's done. Now, let's go to the pedigree, because obviously on the bottom half here, Together Forever, a very nice mare that was all on the turf. Galileo, the sire of Forever Together, obviously turf. So Justify is what makes this, I wouldn't say possible, but what makes this interesting, because obviously Justify from the United States, Triple Crown winner, dominant on the dirt, 6 races, 6 wins, ending with, like I said, that Triple Crown win at Belmont. So great pedigree to go long, and a great pedigree on top to go on the turf. Now, Justify had a lot of turf or dirt, I should say. Justify, a good pedigree for the dirt. Justify did have a lot of not a lot, but some turf influence as well. And I think that's why his horses have been able to kind of run on anything as he's gotten going. And I think that's why he's had tremendous success. Aidan O'Brien called Justify maybe one of the best sires of the generation to come. So Aidan O'Brien loves Justify as a sire, and he kind of highlighted some of those points of they can run on anything. And so that's kind of the deal, right? And so when you get on the dirt, it's going to be Do we have the influence of Justify, or do we have the influence of the mother more? And that's going to be the big question mark. I think if, let's say Frankel was the sire, I'll just throw out there a horse everybody knows, then you got turf, and I think the question mark becomes much greater, right? But when you got a horse like Justify, a Triple Crown winner on the dirt as the sire, it definitely brings in the realm of possibility that, sure, City of Troy can run on the dirt. Now, let's get to the third factor. And honestly, and it probably should be this way, I think Aidan O'Brien is the biggest factor of why people, and including maybe myself, think this horse can handle the dirt. Because if you go back, and I don't know exactly what to tell you to YouTube, but it's on YouTube. If you go back to Aidan O'Brien talking about City of Troy as a 2-year-old, I don't know, type that in, you will see an interview, and it was very telling, where Aidan O'Brien basically said City of Troy might be the best horse I've ever trained as a 2-year-old. Okay, that's saying something, right? Aidan O'Brien, he's trained some good ones. And he also said, I believe this horse can win the Kentucky Derby, basically, and we're going to try to get him the Kentucky Derby. It didn't work out like that. They didn't go that route. But basically what Aidan O'Brien said in that interview, other than, hey, this horse is unbelievable, might be the best I've ever had, he basically said, I have no doubt he can run on the dirt, and we're going to try it. And again, it was a Derby, and then maybe we can get to the Travers. And now finally it has become reality that they're going to go to the Breeders' Cup Classic. So I think if you didn't have those quotes from Aidan, you might not feel quite as good about it. But Aidan O'Brien is not a guy that's just going to come out and say things to say them, right? Like, we all kind of know those trainers maybe here in the United States that'll say things and they're kind of hyping the horse, and then they never or seldom do they back it up when the horse actually does it. Aidan O'Brien's not the kind of guy. And another thing about Aidan O'Brien, he's not really the kind of guy to just do things for the hell of it, to kind of put it bluntly. Like, if he thought City of Troy couldn't handle the situation, wouldn't he not just go to the turf and win that race, right? Like, City of Troy in the turf would be the favorite if he entered the Breeders' Cup turf. So you don't just waste a win like that, right? So I think City of Troy to the dirt, Aidan O'Brien showing confidence. He said he could do it. He said this was kind of the plan to try it at some point, and then him actually doing it. I think that's the biggest component for me. We can look at the resume and how good this horse is. We can look at the pedigree, but when the human being is saying it, that is one of the best trainers to ever do this, that is the best sign for me. That is, again, and it's not a guy that's like, I'll just take crazy chances. No, not at all. So that's very interesting to me. That's been the thing all along, where I'm like, okay, if Aidan O'Brien wants it, if Aidan O'Brien says he can do it, he probably can do it. Finally, last thing we'll talk about, and this is kind of the unknown, but we'll kind of speculate on what could happen here. His running style and what kind of trip is he going to get. So the last race, him going to the lead, I think that is a very good sign. I think he does need to be in that first group of horses. I don't think he necessarily has to have the lead, but if you kind of watch this race and, going into that first turn, if he's 6-8 lengths behind, I'm pretty concerned at that point. He does need to get out of the gate well, and that has been a problem for horses internationally that have come over here and ran on the dirt. And I don't know what it is, but they all have trouble there at the start. It seems like he needs to get out of the gate well. He needs to establish a position where he's within, 2, 3, 4 lengths of the lead in that first group of horses. I don't want to see him, in 8th or 9th. I think the last race in the Juddmonte shows he can do it, but he's got to do it. He's got to get out of the gate well. That's critical. He's got to get out of the gate well. I'd love to see him draw an outside post. Maybe not 12, but 7, 8, 9, right around in there. I don't really want to see him draw inside and get a lot of dirt early. I know they tried to simulate a race like that in that kind of situation in his last workout, so maybe he can handle it. But again, what I would love to see from him, break, let's say, from the 8 hole, kind of sit outside just a bit, try to take the least amount of dirt you can, and kind of sit there 2, 3 lengths off the pace. I think that would be perfect for him. I have no idea what the goal will be or what the strategy will be, but I think that would probably be what would make the most sense, at least in my head, which counts for absolutely nothing. Let's be clear. But anyway, that's just kind of how I have it set up. I think he's capable of doing that as long as the gate situation doesn't bother him. I think he's shown in his other races he's got enough early turn of foot to kind of get to where he needs to be. So look, it's going to be amazing. I am really excited to see it. I love horses like this to kind of throw that intrigue into it, to where it's like he could, if he doesn't handle the dirt, now all of a sudden the favorite of the Breeders' Cup Classic is off the board, and here come the prices. It could be big. Or if he handles it, can this international superstar end his career with a win in the Classic? I mean, that would be awesome as well. So it really, you can't go wrong. Well, you obviously bet from betting wise, you could go wrong, but from a fan standpoint, you really can't go wrong with this horse. It's going to be a ton of fun. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. We've got a ton of Breeders' Cup coverage. This is, kind of, we're in the middle of it. We got more next week. Obviously, we got a ton of live shows we're going to be doing for you guys as well. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun coming up this week. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun trying to see if this horse can get the job done. So thanks everybody for watching, and keep tuning in for more Breeders' Cup coverage.